Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to another film of the week. Hope you guys been enjoying the content on the channel as of late. I'm going to be starting a little bit of a theme here this month. That month, obviously, being October. We're going to be doing lots of horror films for the month of October, just to be a little bit festive and to be a little bit in the spirit of it. And also it gives me a reason to see films that I have not seen. One of these films being Let the Right One In, which was directed by Thomas Alfredson, who would go on to do films such as Tinker Tailor, Soldier Spy, which I've not seen, but I've heard good things about, and The Snowman, most recently, which I've heard a lot of things about. So, tells a story of a 12-year-old boy who develops a relationship with a young girl, a girl around the same age as him. And in the background, there are murders that are happening around the city. And what you find out is that there is something of a connection between these kids and the murders. And that's pretty much as far as I will say, because I don't want to give away more about the film besides what I just said, because I think going into this a little bit more blind will help with the overall appeal of the film. The less you know about the film, the more the more impact that I think it will deliver. So, and of course, I always have my notes, so just having my notes right here, real quick. But what I think the reason why I thoroughly enjoy this quite a bit was its delivery and tone. It's a very quiet, very suggestive, type of atmosphere. There's little hints here and there prior to the revelation of what is actually going on, and you might think initially when that thing is revealed to you that this seems a bit, out of left field. But then as the film settles in with that knowledge, you find yourself just so much more accepting of that element, and it's surprisingly tender. To call it a horror film, I think would undermine a lot of what the film is. What it is a meditative and just very tender in just overall feelings. It's acting as a like a fairy tale of some sort. And has like some Shakespearean like qualities to it, like Romeo and Juliet. There's that sort of idea that's cast throughout the entire film. There's an air of love in the air, then there's the ideas of forbidden love that is forged. And from that you might be able to get some kind of ideas of what's going on in the film. But more so than that, it's about influences and how those influences shape our perspectives and who we allow into our, strange little worlds, kind of to echo, that of Robin Williams from Good Will Hunting, that kind of line. And it plays exactly to the title, Let the Right One In. It's pretty much telling you exactly what it's about. It's about, just as I said, who we allow into our strange little worlds and who we accept. And ultimately through that, how those influences impact our own lives and shape our own personas. So I found it to be very, very captivating and just very thoughtful in its approach. I do think, though, that it does fizzle out towards the end because the ideas are pretty self-explanatory, and there does eventually come a point where my interest did start to wear a little bit because of the fact that I know pretty much everything about the movie by a certain point, but it didn't deter from my overall experience with it. I think that it's still just like it's surprisingly like I said, more uh, more meaningful than haunting. I mean, the horror of it is extremely minor. I mean, there are, like I said, there are suggestions to I like suggestions to that sort of genre. Like there's always something lurking in the background, like you see in the camera, something in the background over here or over there, so it definitely has those elements at play, but it's not what it's fascinated by the most. It's more fascinated about a study of its characters and a study of circumstance. So, and a study in more or less just like like of how a study in more of like resonance, really just pushing for the emotional attachments, and it earns it. I found myself really in good spirits, and I just found myself just really involved with the characters and involved with the circumstance and involved with just the developments at play. I found myself just really wrapped up in it. And just to call it horror, I think is just, undermining completely what the movie is. It's not a horror film. It's a drama first and has the whispers of that of a horror film. It's not the other way around. So, and thankfully, it is what it is. Because if it was the other way around, it wouldn't be as captivating. So, even though it does fizzle out by a certain point, for what is there, it's meaningful. It's a very unique approach to a certain element. I can't say what that element is, but you guys know if you've seen the movie. Like, it's very unconventional in terms of how they utilize a certain element, and it creates something of a romance, something of a, like I said, something of Romeo and Juliet. So, and I really enjoyed myself with it. So, so those are my thoughts on Let the Right One In. Very surprised by it. I did not expect what I got out of it. I really was thinking it was going to be something more scary, but no, it's actually something extremely tender and really heartfelt. So, so if you guys have seen Let the Right One In, let me know in the comment section below what you guys thought of the film. And that's going to be it for me, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And until then, I will catch you guys in the next video.